All right, y'all, this is my exemplar basically for the poem. Now notice I'm inside Google Docs, and you'll get there from Google Classroom, as has been demonstrated a couple of times in some of the other videos already. So here is the format, right? You're going to develop a poem using this format below, right here, about one of the regions of Texas, okay? So I'm going to do the mountains and basins, right? You will pick one of the other three. So line 1, for example, okay? I'm doing mountains and basins, so mine's going to say mountains and basins. 2, two geographic features. Okay, now when you get into these other pieces here, right, you're going to probably need to refer to your textbook. All right, and so like I have it here already, chapter 3, regions of Texas. So I'll come in here and say, okay, I'm looking for geographic features. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to look for geographic features. So one geographic feature would be the Guadalupe Peak. The other, for me, I'm going to choose the Rio Grande, right? So I'm going to come in here and say Guadalupe Peak and Rio Grande. Now I've got to choose 3 cities, okay? So as I come back here, I'm going to have to read a little bit, or I'm going to have to look at some of these things. I know El Paso's one, and look at here, they tell me there's 2 more. Here's Marfa, Alpine, Fort Stockton's in there, okay? So there's, and here's your key, right? So each one of those little dots represents a city. So I need 3. So I'm going to go El Paso, Marfa, and Alpine. El Paso, Marfa, Alpine. A neighboring region. Okay, what's a neighboring region? I know based on this, but if I didn't, you know, I might have to go back and look at another picture and find another picture as I scroll through here looking for another image, right? And so you'll have to comb through your book this way, right? Looking for, okay, so a neighboring region. So these are sub-regions, but here's mountains and basins. It's neighbors with only one, and this is the what? This is the Great Plains. So I come back here and say a neighboring region, Great Plains. Now I got to come up with 3 economic activities. I come back to my textbook. Okay, if you need to jump around, you can jump around. So here I'm in chapter 3. I'm going to the mountains and basins, so here I can get there more quickly rather than just doing this. I'm looking for economic activities, so get a read again, right? Talking about national parks. That is an economic activity, right? Traveling to Big Bend National Park, all the tourists that enter, right here is talking about many businesses. Let me bring this in a little bit. What happened here? All right, there we go. So business, that's economics, right? Economic activity. So business in El Paso have prospered. That means they've been successful by offering services to tourists. Okay, so I know one economic activity is tourism. Okay. What else do I have as I read along here? Recreational activities. So I have tourism. I've got, I'm going to say, I might have to keep looking. And of course I've changed the way that I'm scrolling. And if you don't find what you're looking for when it comes to economic activities, do the best you can within this text. If you need to, right, I don't mind if you go outside of the text, but I want you to look through the text first to find out what you can. All right, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and complete my poem. I'm going to do my research and I'll come back and show you what the finished product looks like. Okay, so the finished product looks like this. Line 1 is the mountains and basins. Line 2, Guadalupe Peak and the Rio Grande. El Paso, Marfa, and Alpine are 3 cities. A neighboring region is the Great Plains. 3 economic activities include tourism, ranching and farming, oil and gas industry. Okay, 2 points of interest are Big Bend National Park and the Marfa Lights, which have been associated with UFO or other paranormal phenomena. 3 natural resources: wind, oil and gas, and livestock such as sheep and cattle, even though they don't do as much as the others. And then of course line 8 was to restate the region that you did. So this is an example, and this is what you're doing. And then of course what you'll do, you won't have all of this, but you'll have, maybe you have line 1, maybe you have it set up this way, which is fine, right? Then it's easy for me to read. So you'll need your heading, right? What does your heading consist of? Your name, class, and the date, right? Remember I showed you guys in another video, you can remove those spaces by highlighting all of those that you want to remove spaces in. You come up here to the line spacing, you click and you click remove space. And if the first one doesn't work, because I always get confused, hit the other one, it'll tighten it up. All right, so your heading, you'll need to put your heading in here with your name. Okay, your poem, that's going to be the title, right? So go ahead and, as I told you in the last video, you can highlight or you can just put the cursor on the left side, and you need to center this, right? And I always like to bold, and maybe you make it bold and underline. Okay, so now what we have is you have your heading, you have your title, and you have your work underneath. Now once you're done and you have the title, you can come up here and you can just click this, all right, and it's going to go with what you put in first. So that would be your name, right? But just call it poem. Okay, poem for regions. Maybe just call it poems for Texas region, right? Poem for Texas regions. And then once you have your assignment titled and your work is done, remember I told you these things save automatically. Now where you created yours is from within Google Classroom, right? So when you do this, remember you will have created from the assignment. So let me show you that example one last time, and then I'm going to stop showing these over time because I'm going to expect that you all know how to do this. So for example, if this was the poem, you would click view assignment. You'll create yours from right here, right? And you'll create this document. It'll bring it up, you'll open it, and then of course once you open this document, right, you're able to go ahead and start working. Okay, if it already brings up the title, as it most likely will, since it'll be titled since you open it from Google Classroom, that's fine. If you want to rename it, rename it. But once you're done, it'll save. You come back here. When it's done, you click turn in. Okay.